What's up everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is part 2 of my new makeup haul. As I mentioned in my last video, I purchased a ton of new makeup recently and I wanted to haul it for you guys today, as well as share with you some customer service experiences that I've had with both Sephora and KKW Beauty. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that a couple of pieces of makeup that I've ordered recently have come smashed. So I wanted to share with you guys how I rectified that situation and what my experience was like dealing with the companies. Before we go ahead and get into the video, please make sure you subscribe to my channel before you leave. And if you enjoyed this haul, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. So I'm gonna go ahead and get straight into the video because I have a lot of stuff to show you guys and we've got lots to talk about. So if you wanna see all of the new makeup that I purchased recently, keep watching. So first I'm going to start with Sephora. Now I did not purchase all of this stuff during the Sephora appreciation sale. I actually got this stuff before the appreciation sale, but I've been holding off hauling it for you guys because of the fact that one of the products came damaged and I wanted to get the replacement in before I jumped on camera and showed this to you guys. Shockingly, I did not purchase any makeup from the Sephora appreciation sale because I had just made this order right before the sale was announced. But one thing that I did buy was a beaker bottle, which I'll link down below. It's just a glass water bottle and they happen to sell beaker at Sephora. So I jumped online and used my 20% off for that bottle because $55 for a water bottle is kind of insane. So I definitely wanted to take advantage of the discount, but buying a water bottle is not that exciting. So I'll link it down below for you guys if you're interested, but yeah, that's all I got from the appreciation sale. But I did pick up quite a few things before that and I'll go through those now. The first thing that I got is the new Beauty Blender Bounce Foundation. So the shade I got is 1.50 and I'm actually wearing this foundation on my face today. I really do like it. I think it's an excellent foundation. And what I appreciate is that there is a little lock right here. So that prevents the pump from actually going down. So instead of having a cap over the pump, it just locks the pump in place so that if you're traveling or anything like that, or you have this in your bag, that foundation doesn't like accidentally get squirted out and get all over your stuff. So I appreciate that lock. Also, I really love the formula of this foundation. It's a little bit thicker than what I'm used to. So the Fenty foundation and the Maybelline Fit Me foundation, if you put it onto the back of your hand, it definitely like will run down. But this foundation is a little bit thicker, whereas when I squirt it onto my hand, it stays in place. So I find that I need to use less of it because I shear it out with a beauty blender, obviously. And I find that there's great coverage. It looks really smooth on my skin and it doesn't settle into my fine lines, which is like my #1 criteria for a foundation. So I'm actually really impressed with this so far. Now I've only worn this foundation 4 or 5 times, so I do want to test it out a little bit more before I determine that it's holy grail status, but I am pretty impressed so far. I also, since I bought so much new makeup lately, I will do a makeup haul hits and misses for you guys, updating you on what my favorite products were from all of the makeup that I've hauled recently and some things that didn't end up working out for me. So I'll let you guys know what I think. Now the next product that I picked up from Sephora I feel like has eluded me for such a long time, and that is the Marc Jacobs Omega Bronzer in the shade Tantastic. This product first came out, I think, more than a year ago, and the beauty gurus on YouTube all loved it. So of course it sold out immediately, and I feel like it took forever to come back in stock. When it did come back in stock, it was released in rose gold packaging with a whole bunch of other, coconut rose gold products. I couldn't get it when that release came out, and then they finally made it permanent, and I was finally able to pick it up. Apparently, I haven't actually used it yet, but apparently this is like one of the best bronzers on the market. I really love the color of it. I think it's going to be perfect for my fair skin tone. I like the fact that it's not too warm and not too cool. It doesn't look orangey, but it doesn't look ashy. It looks really, really nice in the pan. But another thing I've heard is that the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer is like a perfect drugstore dupe for this one. They even smell similar because this one smells like coconut. Yeah, it actually smells really good. So I do want to test them out both together and see, what's what, to see if the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer is as smooth and as, beautiful looking on the skin as this one. So I think what I'm going to do for a future video is like a half face of all high-end makeup and a half face of drugstore dupes. I think that I've come up with enough drugstore dupes for some of my favorite higher end products that I can do that and it won't look weird, like it'll look pretty similar on each side. So I'm looking forward to that. Let me know in the comments down below if that's something that you would be interested in seeing. So the next thing that I purchased from Sephora, I actually wasn't planning on purchasing because when I first saw pictures of it, I was like, ugh, that's not for me. And that is the Too Faced White Peach eyeshadow palette. So you guys know I have the Just Peachy eyeshadow palette that Too Faced put out a little while ago, and I absolutely love that eyeshadow palette. It's all mattes, the shadows blend out so lovely, and it is just such a good palette. Now when I got this, the only reason why I thought that I didn't want it was because of the shades on the inside, and I think it's because I was thrown off by these two shades right here. So that one in the corner there, that is Peach Passion. It's like a sparkly purple shade. And then this one right here on the grill is like a really, really dark chocolate brown, almost black looking color. So I was like, oh, I don't know, like this looks like more of a palette that I'm not gonna get tons of use of. But when I actually cover up those two shades, the rest of the palette is really, really beautiful. And the two shades that I was drawn to the most are this one right here, which is Glistening Peach. And that is a beautiful rose gold color. And this one up here, Peach Ice. And that one is just like a super sparkly silver. So I had the opportunity before I made this order to go into a Sephora store, and I saw this palette in person. And I swatched Glistening Peach and Peach Ice on the back of my hand. And I'll actually just do that for you right now, because why not? So there they are there. And you can see that they're really reflective, really beautiful. And what I thought was the most interesting was that when I mixed these two shades together, I thought they were so pretty mixed together. Like I just sort of like blend them out, and they were just really sparkly, and it comes up with this like really beautiful, nice like peach wash. So I thought these colors would look really beautiful together on the eyes. And then when you look at the rest of the shades in here, they're just like really nice, light, beautiful, neutral tones. So that's why I picked up this palette. I think that it'll be good, and I do want to challenge myself to use that purple shade in the corner. I think it would look really beautiful as like a pop of color on the lower lash line. And that's the type of look that I haven't really tried yet because, you know, I'm still stepping out of my comfort zone little by little when it comes to eyeshadow looks and that kind of thing. You guys know that I don't do big, bold, colorful looks on my channel because that's just not the kind of makeup that I wear on a day-to-day basis. But I do want to try some different things. So I feel like this palette would inspire me to step out of my comfort zone. And let me know if you want to see a white peach tutorial. So the next product I got was one of the products that came damaged, and surprise, surprise, it's a Becca highlighter. This is in the shade Rose Quartz. And I picked this up because I love Becca highlighters, and I didn't even realize that they had a shade called Rose Quartz. And you guys know that I love pink toned highlighters, so I was really excited to get this. And when it came in the mail, yeah, totally smashed. And I mean, I know this already about Becca highlighters, like they are incredibly fragile, and you have to be really, really careful with them. Like you drop a Becca highlighter, it's almost guaranteed that it's going to be completely crumbled. So I knew it wasn't the fault of Sephora or anybody who packaged the order. This product just happens to be really, really fragile. So I was disappointed when I got the order because, you know, I was looking forward to getting this particular highlighter and to hauling this order on my channel for you guys. But I contacted Sephora and they sent me another one, no questions asked. So I was on the phone with the customer service agent for probably about 7 minutes. Like it couldn't have been longer than that. And they sent out a replacement immediately. And I was just so impressed by that. Like they didn't ask me any questions. They didn't ask me to send back the old product. Not that I, you know, expect that every single person needs to be treated like they're telling the absolute truth. Like, I mean, any smart business person would want to not get taken advantage of and would want to verify that when people are saying that products are broken, that they actually are broken. So if they had asked me to return the product, I would have. But it's just such a hassle, like to, you know, get a return label and put it into a box and send it back and then wait for them to get it and verify that you're telling the truth and then send you another one. And I've ordered enough products from Sephora that I feel like I'm a good customer of theirs, and so I'm very, very happy that they just sent me a replacement highlighter and didn't make me send back the other one and didn't give me a lot of hassle, didn't ask me a lot of questions. I just really, really appreciated that because it let me know that I'm a valued customer of theirs and that they appreciate my business and they wanted to do whatever they could to make it right as quickly as possible. So that was really good for me. Now, when it comes to the highlighter itself, it is absolutely gorgeous. I just love pink highlighters. Let's see if I can swatch this somewhere. So that's it right there, and it's like you can barely see it on my skin tone. It looks kind of the same as that Glistening Peach and Peach Ice mixed together on my hand, but it looks really, really beautiful. And I know that Becca highlighters have a creamy consistency. They look gorgeous on the skin. They don't emphasize texture. So I'm very, very happy to have this highlighter, and I'm happy that I had such a good experience with Sephora customer service. And just in case anyone is worried, I am not going to throw out this broken one. I actually do know how to fix makeup and put it back together again. The reason why I didn't just like fix it and not ask Sephora for a replacement is because when you buy products, they're supposed to come in the way that they're supposed to come. So like, it's not fair for me to have to just be like, oh, well, it's broken, I'll just fix it myself and no harm, no foul. Like, I asked them to replace it because I paid good money for that. But for this one, it seems like such a waste to just throw it in the garbage. So I know how to fix powdered products. They don't come out exactly the same as the original. They, you know, when you press it down and you put a little bit of rubbing alcohol on it, the product doesn't, I don't know, it performs exactly the same, but it just doesn't look the same as the original press. But I am going to press this back down, put a little bit of rubbing alcohol in it, and make it so that it's usable again, and then gift it to a friend. So the next thing that I got was 4 Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow singles. I usually buy 4 at a time because when you buy them individually, they're $16, and then if you buy 4, they go down to $12 each, so you do save quite a bit of money. And I recently had a incident with my custom Z palette where it was shattered and a whole bunch of shadows broke. And so these 3 shades right here are to replace those shadows that got broken. And I do find that it is shimmer shades. Like when you drop a palette, it's usually shimmer shades that are the ones that crumble and break up first because they're not pressed as hard as matte shadows. So this one here is called Ballet. It's a beautiful like baby pink. This one here is called Sunset. It's more of a coppery color. And this one here is called Peach Sorbet. And I don't know why it's called Peach Sorbet because it doesn't look peach at all. It actually looks more like champagne color, but it's a beautiful like champagne shimmer. This one here is called Blanc, and I just needed it because I need a replacement for a matte white eyeshadow. I think I was using Blanc Type from MAC, and I just recently ran out, so I bought this one to replace it. I absolutely love Anastasia single shadows. I think they're such a great formula and such a great quality. I am a little bit disappointed that there were some shadows that broke when I dropped my Z palette, but that's my own damn clumsy ass fault. Like, it has nothing to do with the shadows and everything to do with the fact that I just dropped my palette and I'm a klutz and I break makeup really, really easily. So, I just wanted to replace those shadows that I broke, and again, no fault of the company, just my own fault, and I paid to replace them. Next thing I got from Sephora is another beauty blender. I just really like this Sapphire color, so I wanted to pick it up. I think it's just such a bright, brilliant blue, and I needed a new beauty blender, so I got this one. I absolutely love beauty blenders. As you saw in my last video though, I've been switching more to the Morphe Highlight and Contour Sponge. I made this Sephora order before I made my Morphe order, so I'm just gonna keep this one as a backup. I do like to have a lot of backup sponges because, as I said in my previous video, I go through them really quickly. So it's always nice to have a backup beauty blender on hand. And the last thing I picked up from Sephora is this. This is the Hello Fab Coconut Skin Smoothie Priming Moisturizer. Now, this is a longtime favorite of mine. I absolutely love this product. I'm pretty sure I've talked about this product on my channel before. I do love moisturizing primers because I feel like if I just put a primer down, my skin can feel kind of dry underneath it, no matter how much skincare I've actually done. So I like when I get a primer that has moisturizing properties at the same time, and this product works really well for that. It's not a silicone-based primer, so it doesn't feel like too slippery or jelly-like. It does actually feel like a moisturizer, and I do feel like it makes my makeup look really, really good. I've tried a couple of other primers recently, so that's why I moved away from this one. I wanted to use up what I had and see, you know, how I could make those different primers work with different foundations, because as you know, I'm always on the quest for that perfect combination. But I decided to pick this up again because nothing has really worked quite as well as this one, so this is definitely holy grail status for me. So now moving on to the drugstore, I picked up a couple of products from there. The first one is the Physicians Formula Spotlight Illuminating Primer. Now, I have heard through various sources that this product is a perfect dupe for the Becca Backlight Priming Filter, which is another primer that I really, really love. I think that it is a good sort of moisturizing primer. It doesn't dry out the skin. It makes your foundations look luminous, and it makes your skin look nice and smooth. So it's a really good primer. And I think it's like, $40 to $50. Like, it's a pretty expensive primer. So I did want to try this one out just to see if it is a less expensive dupe. So this product, along with the Marc Jacobs bronzer that I just talked about, is one of those products that I would like to try in that half face of high-end makeup versus a half face of drugstore dupes. I'm always looking for great drugstore alternatives to high-end makeup that I buy on a regular basis. I don't think that my makeup collection will ever be solely drugstore because there are so many great makeup releases from the high-end brands that I love having in my collection and I love trying out. but I always am looking for great drugstore alternatives to makeup that I buy on a regular basis. So foundations, primers, eyebrow pencils, things like that that I go through very quickly. Not necessarily eyeshadow palettes or blush or things that sit in my collection for a really long time, but the products that I'm always constantly, running out of and replenishing, I like to have good drugstore alternatives because it keeps the price of my makeup buying way down. And as we all know, it's a little crazy, so anything that I can do to ease the pressure on my wallet when it comes to buying makeup is always a good thing. So I'll let you guys know what I think of this. So speaking of eyebrow pencils, the next product I got from the drugstore is another NYX Micro Brow Pencil. Mine is in the shade Brunette. And as I mentioned in my previous top 10 drugstore products video, this is one of those products that I will never buy another high-end version of, like the Anastasia Brow Wiz or Benefit Brow Pencil or Marc Jacobs Brow Pencils or anything like that, because this product works really, really well. It performs just as well as a high-end product, and there's no need to spend tons of money on a brow pencil when this one works really, really well. So I just picked up another one because mine is on its last legs. It's almost run out, and so I knew I was going to need another one, so I picked this one up. The next two things I picked up from the drugstore were both recommendations from Ali Glines, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about her in a second. First thing I bought because of her is this Essence Sun Club bronzer. This is called Matte Bronzing Powder. I haven't had a chance to try it yet, but it does look like the perfect color for me, and it also smells like coconut. Actually, let's take a look at this bronzer and the Marc Jacobs Tantastic bronzer side by side and see what they look like. So that's the two products side by side. This one does look a little bit darker, I want to say, but they do seem really similar. Big pan. Let me just swatch. I actually haven't touched the Marc Jacobs bronzer yet, so let's go back to this one. I'm going to swatch it. Oh, so that's actually kind of weird. This one is the Marc Jacobs one, and this one is the Essence one. So while it looks darker in the pan, it definitely looks lighter on the skin. So that's something that I need to keep in mind, because maybe I'll just use this bronzer for a day that I don't want to have too much of a bronzy look, and I'll use the Marc Jacobs one for when I want to look really nice and bronzy. But Ali said that this bronzer was something that she was really impressed with because it came from the drugstore, so that's why I bought it. And the next thing that I picked up because of Ali is this Rimmel Stay Matte powder. She actually uses this in a 3-step setting routine that she does, and I just wanted to try it out because she actually puts this mattifying powder on top of her face after she uses setting spray. So I think in the areas where her makeup tends to break up, like the nose or whatever, she puts this powder over top of her setting spray to kind of lock it in place. So that's something I wanted to try because I have been noticing recently that where my makeup tends to break up the most is right on my chin right here. Like, by the end of the day, I feel like I don't have any makeup on my chin, and it's a combination of things. It's like a combination of talking on the phone, of sitting like this when I'm at my desk or whatever, and I feel like it is also an oily area on my face, so that's why I feel like maybe I rub the makeup off throughout the day. So I want to try setting my chin with this powder just to see if I can get a little bit more longevity in that area. So I'll let you guys know how this works out for me. So now, staying on the topic of Ali Glines, I actually won one of her giveaways. So I have some makeup to show you here that she sent me as part of winning one of her 7-minute giveaways on Instagram. And she sent me the most awesome package. So she sent me a mascara from Flower Beauty. This is the Lash Warrior Mascara. She also sent me a CoverGirl setting spray, and this is the Look Lock Up All Day Setting Mist, and I actually haven't seen this in Canada, and Ali comes from the States, so I'm actually wondering if this is a product that you can only get south of the border, so I was super excited to try this one out. And then the best part of the giveaway was she sent me the KKW and Mario eyeshadow palette, which this palette, like if I was gonna order this myself, it would cost like 60 bucks, so I was like so beyond grateful and so beyond like comprehension that she would actually send this to me as just for commenting on one of her Instagram photos. Oh. I swear to God, you guys, I have the worst luck when it comes to makeup. That shadow was a like light champagne shimmer shade, and it just came clean out of the pan. Like there's not a trace of it left in there. And I was about to say, when I was going to talk about this palette, that I was really excited to try that shade. As you can see, I have not used this yet. When I opened this palette for the first time, it was in immaculate condition, so I don't know, maybe I've been a little bit too rough with it since it got here, but I actually haven't touched it yet, and I haven't even used it, and that shadow came out, and that sucks because I was so excited to try that. It's like a light shimmery shadow. I was so excited to try that, and now it's all over my carpet, and it's in a million pieces, so it doesn't look like I'm actually going to be able to salvage it, but the rest of the palette looks amazing, especially this blue shade right here. It's called Libra. And I just want to say a huge thank you to Ali for sending me this. And it's so weird that that shadow broke. That's so crazy. And it's so weird that that always happens to me on camera too. Like that happened with the Physicians Formula Butter Highlighter in another video. Like, oh my God. Yeah, so like the eyeshadow is in a million pieces on my floor. This is actually the biggest piece of the shadow that I could salvage from the floor. That is really unfortunate because this is such a pretty shade. Like, oh, look at that. Like, it's so pretty. Dang it. Oh well, you win some, you lose some, and it's still amazing that Ali sent me these products for free, and I'm still gonna use this eyeshadow palette. I gotta be honest, I have a million champagne all over the lid shimmer shades, so it's not that big of a loss that I lost that shadow, but it's just weird and like strange and an odd coincidence that I've opened this a whole bunch of times and just now it decides to break on camera. It's so strange. So staying with KKW Beauty, I actually purchased some products myself from there because I haven't tried anything from KKW Beauty yet, and I really wanted to see what the fuss was all about, if these products were great and what the quality was. And I know that Mario Dedivanovic has been consulting with Kim on her makeup line, and I know that he's absolutely amazing. So I really wanted to test out some of these products in addition to that eyeshadow palette that Ali sent me. The first thing I got is this KKW Beauty highlighting palette. This is number 1, so these are the lighter shades in the collection, and she also has a second highlighting palette that has some darker shades. So, as you can probably guess by now, I opened this up and smashed. You know, actually, I think bad things happen in threes. So if the Becca highlighter was the first and this was the second, and that KKW Mario palette, the one shadow just crumbling in front of my eyes just now, that must be the third, so that must mean that my bad luck with makeup is over, right? So as soon as I unpacked this highlighter palette and saw that it was smashed, I contacted KKW Beauty, and again, I had a really great experience with their customer service team. They asked me just to send a photo of the damaged product as well as a photo of the packing slip to them, and they immediately sent me a replacement. So again, I am going to fix this broken palette and gift it to a friend, but I did get a replacement palette right here. And this one came completely intact, so that's good. So I just love the shades in this highlighter palette, you guys. Oh, like, so beautiful. So this one is like a white gold. Then there's like sort of a pinkish color over here. This one's a little bit more peachy, and this one's a little bit more of a true gold. I'm just gonna swatch a couple of shades because I actually haven't done that yet. So yeah, these look really reflective and really, really gorgeous. And again, like I'm looking at these and I'm like, yeah, that's the exact type of highlighter that I like to wear. So I'm super excited to start using this highlighting palette, and I'm happy that I had such a great experience with KKW Beauty's customer service as well. And then 2 other things that I got from KKW Beauty. The first thing is this KKW and Mario gloss. Now this is in the shade Juicy, and this is the more, like he has 2 glosses with her. One's more nude and this one's a little bit more pinkish colored. This is the type of gloss that I wear on a regular basis. You guys know that. So I'm just going to swatch this for you right here. I'm actually running out of space on my hands to swatch, but this gloss is not, like it is pigmented. It does have pigment on it, and it's really, really beautiful, like peachy pink color. So I'm very excited for this. And I also really like the formula of this gloss. It doesn't feel too tacky or sticky. And I absolutely hate wearing glosses that are super sticky on my lips, or that I feel like transfer onto everything, or that I feel like, you know, get things stuck to it like hair and all that kind of stuff. Like I hate wearing glosses like that. This seems like it's going to be a really, really super good gloss formula, so I'm excited to try this out. And then the last thing I got from KKW Beauty is another eyeshadow palette. Now, given what I just went through, I am going to open this very carefully because I don't want any of the shadows to bust. So this is the KKW Beauty Classic palette. Now I'm gonna say that the shade that just broke out of the KKW Mario palette is very similar to this one here. So looks like I'll be able to use these 2 palettes together and I won't miss that shade. But I absolutely love the colors in this palette. Like look at this palette. It is just such a beautiful, like warm toned, pinky purple, light shade kind of gorgeousness. Like I'm so excited to have this palette and try it out. I have not swatched it yet, so I think what I'm going to do is swatch a couple of shades for you on camera right now. Okay, so I think I'm going to swatch this shade right here, which is called North. That's super cute. So I'm going to swatch that one right there, and this shimmer shade in the corner right here, and then maybe this peachy pink shade right there. I'm super excited to try these out. The formula feels really, really smooth and really buttery, and these shadows look super pigmented. So I'm excited to try that. Yeah. So, oh, they look so pigmented and so gorgeous. That copper shade is really, really beautiful. Wow. So on my previous video, which was my Morphe haul, I asked you guys if you wanted to see some looks with the Jaclyn Hill Vault Collection palettes, and I got a couple of comments saying that you guys did want to see some looks. Similarly, there's a lot of eyeshadow palettes in this video as well, so if you want to see the White Peach or the KKW Mario palette or this palette, if you want to see any looks using those palettes, please let me know down below. I've kind of shied away from the like tutorial makeup look kind of videos because those were the videos that tended to do not as well on my channel as opposed to my hauls, which do get lots of views. So I kind of thought that people didn't want to see them, but you know, without getting too much into it, without getting too deep into, you know, this whole thing, I've kind of decided that I'm just going to post the videos on my channel that I want to post, and if people want to watch them, then great, and if they don't want to watch them, that's fine. I'm trying not to get too bogged down by numbers and numbers of subscribers and things like that, because this is not my full-time job. I'm not trying to become rich and famous out of this. It is really just a creative outlet for me, and so while I do want to do videos that my subscribers want to see, and I want to keep giving makeup to my subscribers and that kind of stuff, I'm also doing this for myself. So I do think I'm going to post a couple of makeup tutorials for my upcoming videos. I do still plan to do hauls and all that kind of stuff, but I do want to reincorporate makeup looks because that's one of the reasons why I started doing my channel, is to express creativity and so that I could talk about makeup and talk about applying makeup and that kind of thing. And while swatches are great and, you know, just talking about products and showing you products are great, I like to be able to also use products on camera, so you will see some more makeup tutorials and looks coming on my channel in the future. And that is it, you guys, for this new makeup haul. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comments down below if you would like to see me use any of these products in a future video. Of course, I will film a makeup haul hits and misses in the future for you and let you know what products I enjoyed, what products I loved, and what products maybe didn't work out super great for me. If you have any of the products that I've talked about in my video today, please make sure you leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think of them. And if you guys have any recommendations for new makeup, if there's something new that's come out recently that you think I should try, or even if you have an old tried and true makeup product in your collection that you absolutely love that you haven't seen me talk about yet, please leave it in the comments down below because I'm always looking for great new products to try. And as always, guys, if you liked this video, please subscribe to my channel and leave me a comment down below letting me know the kind of videos you want to see me do in the future. And if you didn't like this video, keep that shit to yourself. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Cheers.